And this is the thing. How can you make the vision bigger, brighter, more delusional? Because that is the key to success as an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter whether you start with the big picture and then get granular on the details, or whether you start with the details and blow up. Both ways work, and both are delusional.
And they have this like dichotomy of right and wrong that's going through their mind, and they start to create a negative meaning around the change that's occurring.
Go and have a grand delusion and make it actually happen. Welcome back to Amplify the podcast. I am excited for this episode. It is still January. We are still in the very first month of the year. And some people are already kicking themselves for not having done their New Year's resolutions, for not having done the work on their business they thought they would do, for not having fixed a relationship. Whatever it is that you're thinking, oh my God, I still haven't done it again this year. I'm here to tell you that it's still early.
Yeah,
Still early. You can still create change. And the way I'm going to help you do it is to talk about grand, not illusions, grand delusions.
yes, I love this.
It is often referred, like being delusional is often referred to as a problem in the world of psychology, psychiatry, and mental health. However, in entrepreneurship, it's actually the delusion that creates the success. How can you have such a delusional view of the world, such a delusional view of what you can achieve, that miraculously you actually make it happen? So I remember when I was having my second son, and it was around the time that a war was declared, the Afghanistan war. And that time was a very difficult time. I was there pushing this baby out of me. And at the same time, my husband at the time turned on the television to the announcement of war. And I was just devastated because I was like, oh my God, I'm bringing this perfect little baby into a world of destruction. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I refuse to allow myself to bring a child into the world without doing something about changing the world. And so I set up this grand delusion, this delusion that people could learn to love themselves, learn to love each other, and that the world could be a beautiful, peaceful place. Now, little did I know at the time that part of the problem was me. I was contributing to that war because I was at war with myself. I was at war with my husband. I was at war with society and the system. There was this whole big war going on internally for me. However, it created this grand delusion that the world could be a better place. And it set in space and time a picture that I was willing to work towards. And that picture was the very beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And at the time, I wasn't coaching or anything like that. I was doing something very, very different. However, it was the beginning of the picture. And then I worked on the picture and I made the picture more delusional, more crazy. Like when I first started my training business, I'm just like 10,000 people in a stadium. That's the delusional picture. And it was a delusion at the time because we were struggling to get 40 people in the room. How was I going to fill a stadium with 10,000 people? Have I spoken in a stadium with 10,000 people since then? Absolutely, I have. And this is the thing. How can you make the vision bigger, brighter, more delusional? Because that is the key to success as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I love this. And I feel like I'm going to take a bit of a different path in regards to how delusion like played out for me, because I feel as though like absolutely that could be the way that brings it into your world. And then for me, it wasn't necessarily this big, how do I change the world moment? It was, how do I change my world? And then how do I change the world for people like me that has been in scenarios like me? So I think for me, I didn't have the same level of like global awareness that set in path like that trajectory of change.
Yeah.
It was more so this realization of, I actually read a quote that said, be who you needed when you were younger. And that was the catalyst that caused me to start my business, my very first business, like going and speaking to teenagers in high schools, and with the hope to give them the tools and the resources to be able to change their trajectory for their life. And it was built around this delusion of, I don't care like where you were born. I don't care like what like environment you grew up in. You actually get to choose for yourself. And I like me doing that and going into schools was me proving to myself I get to choose differently for myself as well.
Yeah.
And that was kind of that starting point from the delusion for me. And then absolutely, as things are rolling and as things are going, it's how do I make it bigger? How do I make it brighter? How do I like then blow it up? So yours sounds like it kind of started on this really blown up scale and then you've gone down, whereas I feel like mine was the complete opposite. It was like, I need things to be different for me.
Yeah.
And then that like was this beautiful chain reaction to be bigger and bigger.
This is testament to, it doesn't matter whether you start with the big picture and then get granular on the details, or whether you start with the details and blow up the picture.
Yeah.
Both ways work, and both are delusional at the time when we were having it happen.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that has happened in society is because of the value of sameness, the value where everyone wants to be the same and fit in and belong. What's happened is this delusional thought has become for outliers only. And it's like this thing that's punished in terms of sameness.
Yeah.
And so when we see young entrepreneurs wanting to start up, they have their parents even saying, why don't you just get a normal job? They have their friends going, this is never going to work. You're putting so much time into it. How's it ever going to work?
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I really, really dislike about society is if someone has a grand delusional dream, can you please let them have it? And if you're actually their friend, can you support it?
Yes, absolutely. And it comes every time we have this kind of conversation, it comes back to that quote or that statement of first they'll ask you why you're doing it, and then they'll ask you how you did it. And nothing is more true for my life. Like, when you think about like when I first started in business outside of what we do now, it was that. It was, why are you doing that? Why do you care? Why do you want more? Why does it have to be different? And I'm like, what do you mean? And it's how disciplined can you be on holding the vision? Now, I do want to talk about delusion though, because yes, it's important to blow up the vision. Yes, it's important to do all of that. And though I feel like a lot of people get stuck in that because it's essentially, it comes to this like beautiful daydream mentality where it's just make it bigger, make it brighter, and
there's anything about it.
You have to take the action.
The action is the key. And so in that moment when I was birthing that baby and at the same time birthing my entrepreneurial journey unbeknownst to me,
yes,
there was something that happened, and it was, I'm never going to let my standards drop below the level of being that person who can change the world.
Yes.
And that creates problems. I just want everyone to be non-delusional for a minute. That creates problems. When your standards raise and you want everyone and everything around you to meet those standards, that resulted in the breakdown of my marriage. Like, I had standards and I wasn't going to be treated like that anymore. And hello, a few years later, bye-bye husband.
Yeah.
I had standards. I wasn't going to let the people at work bully me anymore.
Yeah.
And then hello, a whole lot of meetings. You know, I had standards. My house had to be clean, neat, and tidy. And that sometimes meant I missed out on going to things because it was like that first, me first. And this is where I think the alignment happens, right? You were like, how can I change me first? Even though the vision for me was the global picture first, it still came back to how do I be the person who is capable of that?
Absolutely. And I'm so glad that we're talking about this specifically because I feel as though people that have the vision and then they start taking the action, they recognize that in order to be the person that can achieve the things they want to achieve, things have to fall away.
Yeah.
And sometimes the falling away of those things can be interpreted as something's going wrong. These people are meant to be by my side forever. Like, I must be doing the wrong thing. And they have this like dichotomy of right and wrong that's going through their mind. And they start to create a negative meaning around the change that's occurring.
Yeah, they realize to go, oh, because I'm losing all of this,
it might be
means that I'm on the wrong path.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's this beautiful, like, I want our listeners to really hear this because it's this beautiful realization that when things are falling away, it's actually because you're changing. It's because you're growing. And I feel like so many of our clients are experiencing this right now.
Absolutely.
Where they've experienced so much growth and change. They're like, oh, but now this friendship isn't aligned, or this connection is gone, and it's like, this is actually really great. And it's a testament to your growth.
Yeah.
And this is the little like pocket of problem in the possibility that comes with it as delusional is the ability to go, hang on, there has to be a level of sacrifice. And the level of sacrifice is, if you want to go to the next level, not everything gets to come with you.
Exactly. And this is the thing I think that young entrepreneurs face is they feel as though it's punishment.
Yes.
They see sacrifice as a punishment, that they haven't done it the right way, that they haven't done enough, that they haven't been grown enough to be able to hold the friendship and their business, that they haven't grown enough to be able to hold the money and their business. And yet it's all teaching you the lessons that you need to learn as you grow. And we were talking to a client this morning who has recently had to let a friendship go.
Yes.
And she was sad. And we were saying that this is so great for your business.
Yes.
Because you've learnt how you never want to do business. This is a friend that she was in business with. And it's like, this is how you never want to do business. And what a beautiful way to learn than to have firsthand experience of it.
Yeah.
So where you can recognize that, okay, I'm never going to do in my business what that person did in theirs.
Yeah.
Like people often go to things or have experiences with other businesses and they're like, it was terrible. This bad thing happened. I encourage you to look at it differently. I encourage you to look at it from a learning perspective and go, wow, this is so valuable because it's taught me I never, ever want to be like that.
Yeah.
I never, ever want to run it like that. I never want to treat my staff like that. You can learn so much from other people's mistakes as well as from your own. And rather than viewing this letting go, this shedding that happens as you grow as punishment, recognize it as a time to celebrate yourself for having changed so much that those things are no longer part of your world.
Yeah, and it's the ability to go, how committed am I to this vision?
Yeah.
And because it's one thing to say that you're delusional. It's one thing to even be in delusion.
You can have the delusion. It's a different thing to actually take to action.
Yes.
To get the delusion to start to happen.
Yes. And to step towards it and to pull that picture closer and closer and pull it down into reality. It's going to mean that you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. You're going to have to face challenges. You're going to have to overcome things because it's
going to feel hard sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's another trap that new entrepreneurs fall into. They go, oh, well, if it's hard, it's not in alignment. It's like, no, run towards the hard. The buffalo run towards the storm. Run towards the hard. That's actually where the alignment is, because alignment comes from having molded yourself, and nothing gets molded without pressure.
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. And it makes me go oh, okay, look, everything's great. Yeah. Because it's going to ebb and flow. Something that when you were speaking before, it was you essentially highlighting the paradoxes of can I hold the friendships? Can I hold the business? Can I hold both? And I think what's important for our audience to hear is that there's going to be times when you've got to spin to one side and you are going to feel like I'm only holding connections right now. I'm only holding friendships right now. What's happening with my business? And then you'll spin to business and it will only be business. And I've been saying that for 2 months. And then you get both. That's how it works. It's this and that. And then it's both.
Everything.
Yes. And then they collapse and it's oh, my capacity's increased. Now I actually can hold both with ease.
Yeah.
And then another paradox enters your life. And that's growth, though. That's literally what we sign up for.
And so when people are having these grand delusions in the beginning,
yes,
and they're just starting to create the vision in their mind,
yeah,
there's a level of fear that seems to happen around sharing the vision. They feel as though they're going to be judged, or they feel as though, and rightly so, because largely society will judge you.
It's that
delusional
being in the sameness to then
and to stepping out.
Yeah.
And when we think about that stepping out, that we're basically standing up in front of a crowd of people that we don't even know and saying, here I am, feel free to judge me.
Yeah.
Feel free to judge me. And so there's a level of self-love and self-acceptance that must be present before you stand up.
Yes.
There's confidence as well.
You've got to do it with conviction.
You have to do it with conviction. Will actually outweigh any level of confidence you have. If you are truly convicted, people will believe you whether you're confident or not.
I feel like the conviction is the number one, secret sauce. That's the key ingredient. That's the golden goose. Because if you can stand there with full conviction, truly feel it in your body, so not in a dissociated state, fully in your body, say it fully convicted, time and space will bend. It's all you need to go is all right, let them have it.
And it's a sign of leadership.
Yes.
True leadership starts with conviction. Are you so convicted in what you want that you are willing to lead others to it? Yeah? Are you willing? And this is crazy. It reminds me of a biblical story, though. Moses led his people out into the desert. right? And it was like, what are you doing? You're taking us into the desert. There's no food. And then all of a sudden, heaven provided food, manna from the heavens, right? And when I think about that, it's exactly like that was an entrepreneurial journey. You know, he eventually got the 10 commandments written on a tablet of stone from God himself. Now, whether you believe in religion or biblical story is irrelevant. That story has shaped history.
Yeah.
And that's the same as what happens with an entrepreneur. They shape history because they take that step out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
They would have just something different. Yes, it's like that movie, Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Like, it's the messages that you get. And entrepreneurs have this uncanny ability to tap into intuitive messages from the universe, God, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And when they do, and they tap in at absolutely convicted level where they actually live their life through the frame of the message they got, magic things happen.
Yeah.
Worlds change.
Yeah.
Lives change. People change. Schools change. Families change. Like, the change is inevitable because you've stood convicted, you've bent space and time, like you said, and by bending space and time, a new reality opens up.
Absolutely. And it's that whole, like, it's that unwavering self-belief. And it reminds me of, I was once at a self-development conference like years ago. I'm talking like a decade ago. And the guy that was presenting, his keynote wasn't anything to do with him. It was actually all about Elon Musk. And whether you love him or hate him is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It was about his story of getting the rocket ship to come back and land again. And like anyway, he failed like freaking a crazy amount of times. He went bankrupt. His wife, like one of his wives, left him. Like it was just like odds stacked against him. And he's like, run it again. Run it again.
Yeah.
Run it again. Like that level of conviction and self-belief of, okay, cool, failure, there's feedback in that, go again. Like that is the level of conviction that you need to hold in regards to the delusion that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what changes the freaking world.
And then some people would say, well, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is a problem.
Yes.
It is if nothing's changing each time you do it.
Just
doing those little tweaks, you know, the one stitch in the whole dress can change everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I really hope that people that are listening to this, like, again, I want to come back to what you said right at the very start of, like, it's still early. It's still early. Like, it's so early in the year. It's so early. Like, I don't care how old you are. It's early in your life. Yes, it's early in your life.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely create this delusional vision of what you want to create. And I'm going to assume that people listening to us are high achievers. They're driven people. They're people that want more.
Yeah.
Like, they're into development and growth and all of that, right? And so you already have all the ingredients. So now what's the very next thing that has to happen? What's the step that you set to take? Because that's where the magic happens.
And this is something that for some people they can see it. For some people they can hear it.
Yeah.
For some people they can feel it. And for me, I've always been able to feel the next step and yet never see it or be able to analyze it. And so I literally have to step out in faith every time. Like, it's this step of faith and trusting. It's a little bit like playing the end of the Crash Bandicoot game, for those of you that are old enough to remember that, where you had to just jump and hope that the platform appeared.
Yeah.
That's how it feels to me. So I can feel that it's there, but I can't see it and I can't analyze it. And I have to just step out, trust that it's going to come up underneath me. And every time it does. For other people, they can see the line of stepping stones the whole way to the goal, and they get to step fearlessly onto that stepping stone, yet they don't have no idea how it's going to feel. And when they get there and the feelings are big, it can rock them a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you have to, when you make that decision to go forward into your grand delusion, you also are making the decision to change and adapt to whatever is necessary at the next level for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love, I had a friend or a friend of a friend say this statement, which I love, and I have attempted to bring it into our training rooms and it hasn't quite landed yet. And I'm positive it will. It's going to be another little one-liner that I get to utilize. And it's, when in doubt, go flat out.
Yeah. And the reason it hasn't landed in the training room is because I go, if in doubt, get out. And because it's a little saying that my mom used to use if I went in a car with the boy. Oh my, get out. And so when I hear it, it goes, if in doubt, go flat out. I'm like, yeah, that's good. And it sounds so much like the other one that I don't know whether I'm going or stopping. And so
Well, you're going in the right direction either way. That's correct. Forward movement. It's action.
So if in doubt, go flat out. It's like if you're faced with a challenge, you can either run away from the challenge or you can rise to the challenge. And in the history of the universe, success occurs when you rise to that challenge.
Yeah.
When you actually run towards the storm, when you throw everything you've got at it, and when you truly actually go, you know what? I believe in this, and so I'm going to go for it. You look at something like KFC chicken. Now, whether you like it or not, it's a very successful brand. He was 62.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Before he even started.
It's actually incredible. And even like Vera Wang, like she was like later in her life when she first got into designing. And I feel like if you're somebody that's thinking, I need inspiration, can you look up those stories? Like actually utilize and borrow belief from other people that have done the thing that you want to do.
Yeah. I know Gary Vee always talks about, success at any age.
Yes.
And I know we have that belief, right? You can be 14 and starting a business. You can be 90 and starting a business. And at both ends of the spectrum, it will work provided you follow the principles of the grand delusion. That grand delusion demands a few things. And I think that there's probably 7 things that the grand delusion demands. And the first one is attention.
Yeah.
It absolutely demands your attention. So everything, every waking minute, every sleeping moment, because let's face it, we dream about our delusions. Every moment is focused, your attention is focused on the grand delusion. So are you paying attention to what you want? That's number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 2,
I think would be it's self-belief. It's the unwavering self-belief. And it's the recognition of, even if it's only the tiniest little bit, again, it's like, can you put that focus on the tiny little bit that does believe? Can you put that tiny little focus on the knowing, that internet of knowing that's like, oh my God, everything's saying it's not going to work. And I'm going to focus on the tiny little scary, that tiny little flicker that says, yes, it will.
The next number 3 is action.
Yeah.
Small daily actions all day, every day will get you to your grand delusion. A lot of people look at where they are and look at where they're going and they go, that's so far away, I have no idea how to do it. You just have to take action every single day and eventually you'll get there.
Yeah. Next one is environment. Get around winners. If you want to be a winner, get around other people that win. If you're a dreamer, if you're a visionary, get around other people that are going to feed into that delusion, that are going to get that energy, that are going to pump you up and tell you all the reasons why you can. Because if you're somebody that has a big vision or a big delusion, you already have that little voice in your head telling you all the reasons why you can't. Like high achievers have that. So get around people that are going to amplify the parts of you that can do it.
I love that. Number 5 is actually allowance.
Yeah.
So this is where you have to let go of your limitations and allow what wants to happen to happen.
Yeah.
Because one of the questions we ask our high-level clients every time we have a session with them is, what is the biggest bottleneck in your business at the moment?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, the answer is me. And so allowing the things to change that need to change. So allowing yourself to let go of the friendships that don't work, allowing yourself to have a different view to other people, allowing yourself to not be popular for a period of time.
Yeah.
That the allowance is super important.
Yeah. Number 6, failing.
Yes.
It's actually like failing is feedback. Failing is proof that you're like doing something and that you are taking the action. Like, how can you create the most empowering story out of the failures that are happening? Because if you're not failing, you're not pushing the edge.
And equally, how can you fail fast?
Yes.
The faster you fail, the faster you'll achieve. Sounds silly, but actually learning all the ways to not do it will get you closer to the way to do it.
When in doubt, go flat out.
When in doubt, go flat out. See, there we go. You got it in. That's it. I love that. And I think number 7 is celebration.
Absolutely.
It's celebration. So it's celebrating each little milestone on the way to the goal. A lot of people, when they're in standard mainstream society, they learn to only celebrate the wins.
Yeah.
Actually, you have to celebrate the losses. You have to celebrate the days that have been passed. You have to celebrate every single client. You have to celebrate the whole way of that journey, because without celebration, entrepreneurship can be a thankless master.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so really encourage you to celebrate your wins.
Yeah, I love that. Go and be delusional.
Go and have a grand delusion and make it actually happen.
Yeah.